Jon Jones has just teased his UFC retirement after only recently returning to the octagon. But why? After a long hiatus, Jones made an incredible return that has come as a real surprise to fans, who thought that he would be sticking around for a little longer. As it turns out, Jones might only have one more fight left in him before walking away from the ring for good. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Jon Bones Jones fought Cyril Garn at UFC 285, his first in 3 years and his first ever as a heavyweight. But Jones isn't the kind of fighter who needs to mess around. That's because his fight against Garn was actually for the heavyweight championship. Jones was about to win the fight via submission and claim the vacant title for himself. But why would Jones want to retire after making his spectacular return? See, before now, Jon Bones made a name for himself as one of the UFC greatest light heavyweights, holding the division records for the longest reign and most consecutive title defenses, and so many more. But after doing pretty much all there is to do as a light heavyweight, Jones decided that he wanted to fight the biggest boys. Now, it took Jones a long time to get himself ready for the heavyweight scene, spending a whole 3 years training in order to better prepare himself, so he didn't fight at all during the time he was training. Unsurprisingly to some, he actually relinquished his light heavyweight championship title, which was probably the right call seeing how hard it was going to be to make weight for the next division. Seriously, the man had to go from 220 pounds to 260 pounds. Trying to put 40 pounds on your frame is no easy task. That's like adding a basset hound to your body. In order to achieve this, Jones was put on a grueling 4,500 calorie diet. Now, just to put that into perspective, the average daily calorie intake for us normies is meant to be about 2,500. So the dude was having to work hard just to put that food away. Jones actually enlisted the help of Stan Efferding, winner of the 2010 Mr. Olympia World's Strongest Pro Bodybuilder, to help get him to his goal of 260 pounds. Just insane. See, it's actually pretty hard to put on weight when you're burning a ton of calories at the gym. And when you train like Jon, it starts to make sense. I mean, it must have been hard enough to choke down all that food every day. To then go and hit the gym. No thanks. After Thanksgiving dinner, I can barely move, let alone do any powerlifting. Seriously, this amount of work is just mind-blowing. So why, after so many hours in the gym and forcing down meal after meal, is Jones already thinking about retiring after just one fight? I know it was for the championship, but still, well, there are actually a few reasons. First of all, there's the fact that Jones has been fighting professionally since 2008, which is an incredibly long time when it comes to fighting years. And whilst the 35-year-old is obviously in great shape, it takes a lot of work to keep his body in this peak condition. And no doubt that'll make you pretty tired, right? I'm even tired just thinking about training. Jones himself has said that he is feeling the strain on his body. I've been in the game for a long time. In fighter's years, I'm an old guy. I've been training a long time, been in the game for a long time, got some small injuries. I really want to be around. Totally understandable. Jones has really been in the business for quite a long time. When you look at his career as a whole, it's obvious that he doesn't need to stick around much longer, since no one can deny that he has already made his mark on the sport. With such an incredible record under his belt, it's actually not all that surprising that he might be looking to hang up the shorts. Since he started his professional career, Jones has gone 27-1, 10 by knockout, and 7 by submission. In fact, the only time that Jones lost was due to being disqualified. In his match against Matt Hamill, Jones apparently threw illegal elbows after taking Hamill to the canvas in the first round. This loss is still hotly debated amongst fans and commentators, with many thinking that the punishment was way too harsh, and that the match should have been called a no contest instead. Either way, it's important to note that Jones's only loss was still kind of a win, because Hamill definitely left the octagon looking worse for wear. So with so many incredible achievements, it's not surprising that he is looking to leave the ring a champion. It's better to quit while you're ahead, right? Is it starting to make a little more sense? What is there left for Jones to do? Well, he's made it very clear that there is a reason he's hanging around. What's that exactly? Well, even though he has claimed the heavyweight championship, it seems like Jon is still determined to prove himself. He wants to leave without a shadow of a doubt that he is the best there is. To do that, there's one more fighter that Jones has to beat. Jones is itching to fight Stipe Miocic, the former heavyweight champion. Now, despite being currently ranked number 4 in the division, Miocic is widely regarded by many as the greatest heavyweight fighter the UFC has ever seen. How can Jones walk away when someone else is being called the GOAT? Jones believes that if he can beat Miocic in the octagon, then there will be nothing else for him to achieve as a fighter. And I guess you have to admit that he's got a point. Miocic's last fight was against the Francis Ngannou at UFC 260, which took place way back in 2021. This means that he has been out of the ring for a while. In that fight, Ngannou claimed the heavyweight title for himself. He would later go on to defend the title against Cyril Garn before retiring from the UFC in January 2023. But just because Miocic has been out of the game doesn't mean he's been getting lazy. Quite the opposite, actually. The guy works as a part-time firefighter paramedic in Oakwood in Valley View, Ohio, which is actually really wholesome. I don't know about you, but I'd feel a lot safer if this was the guy who showed up to an emergency. Let's be real too. That definitely doesn't sound like an easy job, but I'm sure Miocic is going to throw himself into his training now that it has been confirmed that he will be squaring off against Jones in July. Now, Miocic himself is 40 years old, so he's probably looking at retiring soon himself. He's often said that he would like to go full-time at his day job once his fighting days are over. And what better way to go out after retaking the title one last time? But again, that's assuming he can actually get through John Bones. With both fighters' legacies on the line, I'm sure the fight is going to be spectacular. Now, I know I said there was one fighter Jones wants to stick around for, but he has floated the idea of one more fight. He has expressed interest in fighting against Ngannou because he believes it will make him a ton of money. But if he manages to beat Miocic and Ngannou, then there is absolutely no arguing that he is the best. The only issue being that Ngannou is currently a free agent, so organizing the fight might be difficult, but still it would be pretty awesome to see. Regardless, Jones has said that his main reason for leaving the fighter's life behind is that he wants to spend some more time with his family, saying, "I want to be able to play with my kids, have a good head on my shoulders. I could see it coming to an end really soon, and I'm happy with that. I'm really proud of my career." And honestly, that's pretty fair. As much as we love to see the skill that Jones brings to the ring, we all love a success story. And it's better that he leave on a high note, rather than stay in the game longer than he should. Still, we are getting a little ahead of ourselves, seeing as we know for sure that there is at least one more fight left in him. Here's hoping that Jones versus Miocic can really live up to the hype. What do you think? Do you think Jones is going to stay in the octagon a little longer? Or did you believe him when he teased his retirement from the UFC? So, from a fight to defend his title, to ensuring he is the best there is. These were the reasons why Jon Jones teased his UFC retirement.